Alrighty, hello every folks and good evening. Welcome to a first impressions kind of thing. I mean, technically, first impressions would have been, I don't know, hours ago, but also we're just going to do continued first impressions on this thing today. So yeah, Menace. For those that haven't heard about this one, slash also weren't sent preview keys, basically, the general deal of this one is well, hell, you'll see in just a second. We're just going to go ahead and get this thing started. Basically, this is in many ways what I consider to be what a lot of the ideas were back in something like Ogre Battle back in the day. I feel like a lot of the stuff that we see here is something that they were imagining at the time. That's part of the reason that I think it's relevant to the channel here. But we're going to go ahead and get this thing started, and you'll see what I mean as we go along. But a demo for this has been out for a decently long time. I've been getting requests to go cover the demo, but there have been so many things to cover over the last few months that this happy little renaissance has basically just swamped my inbox. So, anyways, let's go ahead and get started on this dealy here. So, first things first, we're going to do expert difficulty Ironman. Basically, the difference between these different difficulties is more or less exactly what you want to see in a game like this. Where if, like, let's say you start off on normal, you have all your various squads that are going to already come in with secondary weapons, going to come in with additional options that you can deploy more units out there. Once you get down to expert, you basically have a few people that ended up surviving the prologue, and they're running around with basic rifles, and everyone's on a completely restrictive budget, so that's what we're going to be dealing with here today. We're just kind of diving right into the deep end. This is probably going to end tragically, but that's okay. That's kind of the point. I love starting these off just like as difficult as possible so we can go and figure out the mechanics of everything. What I've seen so far from the first first few campaigns here has basically been in overall tone very similar to something like an XCOM Long War or an X Division or something along those lines, being something that is very, very good at establishing the mood of like everybody being stuck in this like oppressive Warzone type situation. So we'll go ahead and get started there and see how this all goes. So intro's kind of loud, so I'm going to go quiet for a little bit while all of that plays. I'm just going to let it do its thing, and I'll be right back.
If he is all we have left, then he is all we have left. Bring him in. Major, I am First Lieutenant Hayflick, Lead Intelligence Officer for the Wayback Mission. To be blunt, the Impetus suffered a distracting accident coming out of the gate. Survivors are in the minority. You, Major, are now the acting commander for the mission. A seltzer and easing tablet are on the table if you need it.
I was expecting a General Crozier. But your little secretary has already informed you experienced a bit of a hiccup. Coming through the warp. The entire command staff killed, was it? Condolences. But as terrible as your losses might be, I wish to remind you that your residence here did not come cheap for me either. Your expense has been in lives, Mine in political capital. About time you core worlders almost made even on your traits. If I may give you one recommendation, TCR Marine, do try and make good with the neighborhood. But while you learn to dance with these factions and fools, be sure not to step on too many toes. We are not your beloved core worlds. There are only so many mistakes one can make in a system, absent of second chances. But, you know, welcome to the way back. End of line.
Apologies, Major. The comms team is new and was unaware of alert procedures before patching someone through. However, that was indeed Field Marshal Zama, leader of the planetary Jingwei. We are not to interfere with their operations. More on the relationship between the core worlds and the Wayback can be found in the Impedia. For now, let's get you acquainted with the strategic map.
Okie dokie, and we're back. Alright, sorry for the quick pause there. Alright, so at the very start, I'm assuming they'll probably have more of these down the road, but effectively the format of this game works a little bit like this, that rather than the sort of typical SRPG thing of having particular people, and those are, you know, your one individual person, they die, that's the end of that, what they've done in this case is something similar to what I feel a lot of folks were probably imagining when they were taking a look at something like, let's say, like an Ogre Battle 64 or something back in the day, where you have essentially soldiers that are more of an expendable resource that are attached to a commander of sorts who is kind of the main personality of the squad, as it were. So, for example, instead of, let's say, the character going and taking health damage or what have you, they end up going and losing people anytime that, let's say, they get hit or you make a dumb decision or something explodes nearby or something. One of their squaddies will go take the hit for them, and if everybody's completely wiped out, then that's when that particular individual ends up going down. And so the result is that we see this kind of interesting economy where we have kind of leaders that are providing the sort of core personality, as it were, and then we have everybody else functioning more or less as a resource, with some commander types being good at, for example, convincing the locals to go and join them to more or less give you replenishment soldiers whenever you need to. Others being more of a situation where, let's say, they're more heavy weapon type specialists like this guy, which yeah, I gotta say that in this guy's case, he actually ended up being something I completely misread my first time through, because it is a little bit funny that they fired about half the speed of everybody else, though I will say that the perk this guy comes with is hilarious. I don't think you can come up with a better skill name than Get Motherfucked, but anyways, that being said, yeah. When it comes to all these guys, we get more options down the road, but at the very start you have 8 people that survived the prologue there. Now, of all of them, it's not only the stats that end up mattering here, or the unique perks, which all of them will come with something. You know, this guy's your heavy weapons guy. You don't start off with any heavy weapons, so not much of an advantage at the start here. This lady ends up essentially coming in nervous. They're actually probably one of my favorites of the initial starting bunch here. So they start off with a negative 15% accuracy and discipline penalty, but then that ends up stacking 5% to the positive side every time that you have another round, and this ends up stacking up to 8 rounds. So this essentially means that they're nervous at the very start, but as you end up carrying on, they end up getting freakishly accurate, to the point that you can just kind of park them behind a building and just watch them mow things down. Then you have the old guy who's so cheap that he fixes his own tank just with spare parts and costs nothing to deploy. Which probably gets me to the next thing that we should discuss here. So star rankings, as well as promotion taxes, as well as growth potential. So one of the other things that's unique about the system here is that they're going to have people that are essentially going to have different deploy costs depending on their ego, more or less. You know, the old fart that's just kind of there because it's his job, he doesn't care. He's not going to cost anything. He's going to operate off, you know, a can of beans and some scrap metal you left laying around. Meanwhile, the Special Forces sneaky lady over here is probably going to require a bit more of your resources to go get her job done, but also very sneaky, very useful. So we'll be having her as one of these starting people as well. Anyways, with that all said, let's go ahead and get some people picked here so that we can actually get this thing started, so that we're not just talking at portraits all day. We'll get to the rest of these costs in a bit of a moment. So first of all, Sneaky Lady. Reason for it? Yeah, if anybody's got a rocket launcher, their bullets make the rocket launcher not rocket launch, so perfect. Cheap tank guy, because I think this dude looks hilarious, and he fixes stuff with duct tape, and that's very funny to me. This guy, just because every line that he has is absolute frickin' gold, and then Happy Lady, because not only are they cheap, but also freakishly accurate, so there, we'll go with that. Yeah, these other ones are great too, but we'll get to them as we'll get to them. Anyway, let's go ahead and start off with that. So, now, for the next thing for costs, every one of these different areas that you go to is effectively going to be a mini campaign of sorts. So every time that you go to a new area, let's say we go look over here, we'll see that they have a counterinsurgency kind of thing going on, so we're going to be fighting pirates. If we go look at these guys over here, looks like there's an infestation going on. We'll probably go ahead and start off with that, because it feels like it's going to be the easier of the two, and we'll go from there. So as we get down to this area, currently we're not going to have anything to really kind of mess around with up here, but it's probably worth mentioning that the economy of this game works entirely off of a barter system here. So, let's say if you traded, let's say if you didn't have a pilot as one of your initial squad leaders there, like you went full infantry, that would technically start you off with 130 that you could go trade for something. So let's say we could trade that APC and its gun module over there for, let's say, some alternate rifles or what have you. Not going to be doing that right now. But effectively, this means that you do have a little bit of wiggle room in terms of kind of adapting your initial setup here. There are a few things we're going to be keeping an eye on as time goes on. Specifically, that is affording smoke and ideally affording maybe something with maybe something like the walker over here. Basically, the different vehicle types, your light vehicles are going to move fast. They're going to hit something with, let's say, heavy machine guns or something, and then run away. Your tanks are, unsurprisingly, a tank. And then your walkers are basically whatever gun you put on there. They have two of them now, and they just walk around and pew-pew things a bunch, as you'd kind of hope and expect. And yeah, as far as other hiring and whatever else goes, well, we don't have anybody else right now. All right, anyways, back to this. Okay, not this one. Let's go back to the other one. There we go. And let's go ahead and get started over here. So alien infestations, despite everything, despite having the whole Starship Troopers vibe, they will be coming in with various types of guns. So when you get to these different operations, they start off a bit like this, where effectively you have different kind of start and advancement points that you use to go and get these places figured out. So, while the eventual goal is to go and contain stuff here, first two options here, one is to rescue some people that were nearby, another one is to save their settlement. We're going to go for reclaiming, because again, resources are pretty low at this point, so the easier the better. I mean, on the highest difficulty here, you have cases where you start missions off and everything's already failed, so that's also a thing. But it is worth mentioning, as long as things get done, it really doesn't matter that much. So we'll get more on that in a little bit of a second, but basically what doing more of those objectives gives you is more promotion points, which allows you to advance your people and what have you, but that isn't always necessarily something that you want to do. Because giving everybody more of a promotion means that they also cost more to deploy, so on and so forth. Anyways, more on that as it becomes relevant. We'll just go ahead and throw this guy and his light carrier up here in front. So, alright, now, on the left here is a map that's very reminiscent of one of my favorite things from back in the Genesis. I doubt that it was related by the same thing, but it just reminds me so much of this old game called Subterranea, where, like, you're this little like spaceship type deal, and every time you got through another mission, your map and data and everything else improved. And that's effectively exactly what we see here. That as you fix your ship systems, which it's probably worth mentioning that the ship is currently on fire from like 50 different locations. It's fine. We'll deal with that later. But as time goes on, essentially what you see is that all of your systems start improving. You start being able to tell, instead of we think that there's a thing over here, to like, oh, we know exactly what this is. We know exactly what weapons they brought in. We know exactly what their armor profile looks like. Here's the optimal ranges to go attack them from, all that sort of thing. Like, it gets really detailed with everything. So if that's your sort of thing, this is something you'll absolutely love. And if you're curious whether you do want to go try it, it's really as simple as just going and trying the demo. Like, it's right there. It's been there for a while. You should absolutely go try the demo. It costs you nothing, and it's really good. Anyway, so let's get into this here. So a couple of things that we're changing. First of all, you get one accessory item depending... I believe you actually can expand those accessory slots depending on their pouches and things. So we'll adjust that as we need to. Currently don't have anything armor-wise, so nothing to change there. Basic weapons, everybody just has their starting carbines and no special weapons as of right now, because again, higher difficulty. But one thing that we can go use to put a finger on the scale here is to go and max out the size of their squads, or at least increase them a little bit. So this lady's going to become freakishly accurate over time, so we'll go ahead and give her absolutely everything that she needs to be maxed out there. This guy is kind of just going to be holding ground for the most part, so... I think we'll just kind of leave him as is for the most part. Like, when it comes to fighting bugs here, which is effectively what's going to be happening here, his squad's going to be the worst for the time being. It'll improve later once specials become available. That's probably going to be one of the first purchases here. But yeah, having Sneaky Lady or having, a Cheery Accurate Lady as the ones that are doing most of the shooting is going to help for right now. Anyway, so we know that we're going to have a little bit of cover coming in here. We know there's some stuff happening over here. I actually kind of want to avoid the buildings, so I think what we're going to do is I'm probably going to have you and you... Let's see. Yeah, I think I'm going to have these two pairing up, because you can have a squad rolling in with the transport here. So we'll go ahead and do that. So those two are going to be paired up over here. We're going to have the other two over in this direction, just kind of sneaking up along the side. So they want it completed within 10 rounds, so ideally here we just kind of clear up this area, try to bait these things out of here. In fact, actually, might be better to even have the APC down here. These guys are probably not coming out more than one at a time. Because yeah, they got 6 groups over here. Some of them do require like 3 or more of your squads to actually deal with. So I almost kind of want to go ahead and maybe even put this guy over here with everybody else. Maybe put Sneaky Lady on her own. Nah, actually. Let's see, maybe... Yeah, actually, maybe we'll put Accurate Lady in there, because she's not going to be very useful for the start of it. Alright, we'll go ahead and get started. One thing I didn't expand on much here is the utility and loadout over here. So this is, again, going to be modified based off of difficulty. So basically, this is your limit on what you can actually deploy on each one. So the bigger and heavier guns you have, the more ammunition you bring, the more people you bring along, that's what ends up determining that. So in this case, we have 8-man squad for her, 8-man squad for her, and then 4 for him. And, alright, we'll go ahead and get started there. Alright, and that guy is currently getting eaten by goo. Fantastic. Anywho. Alright, so we'll have these guys load up here. There we go. Alright, so they're... Alright, so they're going to end their turn there. Just going to have them load up for the time being. Alright, let's see. I got a comment from Robert here. So glad to see you playing this. Been a fan of your Tactics over Armored Core content for a while. Well, thank you for sticking around. It's a very oddly specific niche, but that's what we're here for. Okay. So we'll have the APC kind of cover that general direction for the time being. These guys are mostly going to be scouts. Alright. So we know that there's going to be something around here-ish. So they're going to be scouting out that direction. For the most part, we want to get line of sight on something and then kind of go away from there. Now, as far as concealment goes, so this is going to be the sort of a sneaky one over here. Not much in the way of concealment for them right now, but later on down the road, that's probably something that we can go ahead and build them for. But anyways, if anyone gets into a bit of a fight, typically the answer, especially for the bug ones here, is just to pop off a few shots and get a little bit of distance. And then finally, once they're very, very close, that's when you start using all your turns to hit stuff. So we'll see more of this once we actually run into something. But this game is very particular about all of its modeling for like armor and ammo types and everything else. So, for example, when it comes to things like bugs, you know, they'll have different types of armor profiles that might potentially be, you know, good or bad versus different types of weapons. But for right now, we'll just inch forward very slowly because they are definitely running into something soon here. And this guy's squad does not have a whole lot to play with right now. That's why I mostly just want to use them for scouting, because we ran out of points to really give them much more than that. Alright, and actually, speaking of things being interactive here, it's probably worth mentioning that there's a lot of things you can actually do with the map as well, with different buildings providing different cover bonuses, you know, turning your vehicles actually mattering. So here, we'll go ahead and pop these guys out over here. We'll have the APC take over in a little bit of a second here to start firing on these guys, but there should hopefully be enough space that they don't get immediately eaten. And these ones will go over here. But what I was saying about terrain and such is, like, for example, if you have, let's say, a mortar team or something, you can actually blow holes in the ground in open terrain in order to give them cover and whatnot. So there's a lot of that. Like, I love when there's terrain-type shenanigans going on. Won't necessarily matter that much in this case, but it will down the road, because, you know, currently right now, it's all just bugs and things. Okay. So for the moment, I want this guy to be able to keep firing. And I want to protect these guys as much as possible, so we're going to try to make some distance. These guys are going to be pew-pewing over from this direction. And the nice thing about all of this is... oh, there's actually a little bit of a problem, potentially. He's got too few points here. That's fine, we'll go ahead and turn him this direction so that his armor's profiled this way. And then that should be decent. And so yeah, that's just going to bounce off this thing's armor plating. Not really much of a problem. Going to keep these guys protected. They're getting a little bit suppressed. So let's go ahead and talk about suppression mechanics real quick. So suppression in this thing essentially is going to work on a sort of a build-up meter type system, so that's going to be right here above everything's head, and this is going to work differently for people, bugs, and whatever else. Later on, there's going to be basically Terminators and stuff. I don't actually know if those are in there yet, but depending on what you're fighting, what you're going to be seeing is that these are going to have different effects. So, like, let's say you got your basic soldier guys, and they end up getting fired upon. If they end up getting suppressed, they lose a lot of their points. If they end up, let's say, if they end up finding themselves in a position that they're completely pinned down, they can only crawl away. And in the case of your guys, they sometimes may react in funny ways. Like in, let's say, one of my earlier campaigns here, this guy was sitting here tanking a bunch of shots with his APC, and he ended up panicking in the middle of it, basically going full old man angry and deciding to go ram his APC into what was basically a machine gun nest, which resulted in him dying, but still very dramatic. so there was that. Now, for the time being, these guys' accuracy is still currently pretty low, but there's a good number of them. So I'm going to have them take some shots over at these guys here, in order to try to make them run. Because when it comes to the AI here, as you can see, if you get enough of their number down, eventually they will just start wavering and they will start running away. So that's exactly what ended up happening in that case. And we're going to have these guys do a little bit of sniping from this cliff here. They're a little bit out of range for the moment. We're just going to have them sit tight for the moment, so that hopefully these ones end up getting closer, trying to get some better shots and what have you. Because, yeah, there was other stuff coming from this direction, and we want to deal with that. As far as these ones, their shots are mostly going to be glancing off the APC from this direction, and it can do, you know, one of these whole things, where it's got the big pew-pew guns on there. Alright, and as units end up getting knocked out of a squad, obviously they don't shoot so good, so there's that too. But okay. Those guys are going to go rejoin over here. See, currently these guys have 100 points left, so that means 2 shots and a little bit of a crouchy crouch. So first order of business. Fire on these ones over here. Also, funnily enough, I don't know if they were maybe near permanently suppressed the last time that I was going and going through this here, but the tech squad over here, either they had dramatically less points before, because I recall them having 70 in the most recent time that I used them, or something ended up getting changed. I don't know.
Let's do this.
But either way, for the moment, should be reasonably safe here. I'll probably just put some shots on these things.
On target.
Yeah, those are almost done. Those ones will be more of a problem in a minute.
Keep them landing.
There we go. Yeah, those will be fine. That's a decent amount of distance, and that's only 2 groups for the time being, so that's probably fine. Either way here, because their goal is to go protect this area, every time that they're getting injured, they're going to be pulling back here, unless they're running away, I would guess. So, let's go ahead and have you move here. Puts them on a nice little happy cliff. Those ones are currently getting shot at, so that's fine. And then you, hopefully do something decent against this. My hope is that then they end up trying to get close to this tank. They are bugs, they should not do very much to it. Other squad pops out, hopefully tears them to shreds, and that's the end of that. And there we go. That one's running away. Perfect. Alright, you're just going to end your turn.
Do this.
Yeah, normally you don't want to be firing from far away like this, but in this case I don't feel like taking a risk. So it's probably worth mentioning that one of the big limitations that we're going to end up seeing here, that's going to come up a lot on this difficulty, is that people's shots are definitely not unlimited. So everyone can only attack maybe 20, 30 times depending on what you have with them. And so what we see in this case is that they'll basically have a kind of handful of attacks before they end up being completely out. Again, at least for the time being. There we go. Yeah, that's going to do nothing. Way to go, bugs.
Put it on 'em.
Now, it is tempting to go finish this one off because you do get some money that you can trade for if you end up going and finishing them. You can sell their parts and whatnot. But yeah, we're gonna want to probably not for the time being. All right, these guys pop out. Takes 30 to pop out. They won't have enough to hop back in. Yeah, we're just gonna leave that as is.
Let's do this. They're scattering.
Okay, perfect. Alright, so they're running. These guys can pop in towards here.
Moving to waypoint.
Now, against bugs and things, for right now, positioning isn't as big of a deal as long as you're far away enough and you have something to block their shots. When it comes to, let's say, pirates or whatever else, it's more of a situation where if you can get ambushes off, they end up mattering a good bit more. That's a problem. Yeah, that thing's going to be a bit of a thing. And then additionally, you can drive through stuff. Like so. Alright. Now, these guys are probably going to attack the moment that they try to run. That is one of the things that they try to do. They'll, like,
Impressive shooting, Marine.
they'll run away if they can, but if they have an opportunity to attack, they will still take a swipe. Probably take somebody out with them. But one thing you'll see right here is this little gray bar, kind of above their health there. Right now, they can't really hurt it, but once that's shredded off, it'll be just fine. Right. I'm going to hold off jumping out with these guys for a little bit. At least on the plus side, they're getting better with every round. Right. Alright, take one crouch, deal with these. Beautiful.
Enemy movement.
And yeah, to a certain extent, there's also the option for going and messing with your turn order in order to be able to hurt stuff in a few different ways. But I don't exactly know what that all entails, because I know you can switch them, but I don't know how exactly it switches their turn order around. Okay, we're just going to continue running this guy over. No point in wasting bullets when you can just repeatedly smush it. I mean, you can't really hurt him anyway. Surprisingly, these guys haven't been even hit once. Love how one of his squaddies' names is Honk. They've just got a goose. Hopefully they're not going to be the first one to die. Thankfully they're not in a plane, so maybe there's less to worry of that.
Put it on 'em.
Alright. Yeah, so far this is going well, but also I don't think we're hitting that thing for winning within 10 rounds. There's also that other squad kind of around the corner, so once again we're just going to leave them as is. Yeah, that guy's running away by the looks of it. I have to double check that to make sure, because I already made that mistake once where I thought, hey, something's running away, and then it turns out that it absolutely was not. Let's just say bad stuff happened. Alright. Let's see. Range is about here. Alright, so this might be a little bit confusing to look at right now. Like this extra grid that pops up if you hit this. Gives you a little bit of a little bit more of a line as to where any of your guys can be targeted.
Oscar Mike.
So we'll just have them deploy around there. They should mostly be fine.
Yeah. Hostiles do be bad.
Alright. So that guy's done. Alright, that situation's still looking good. Their ammo situation definitely is not looking so good, though. But this thing's starting to go down. So I think for now they'll be relatively safe.
Keep your heads down.
Okay. Alright, we'll see if this works out this way, but what I want to do is do a little bit of an experiment. So I'm going to pop out here. I'm going to take a quick shot over on these guys. Yeah, their accuracy's doing pretty good at this point. Can they actually hop back in, or no? Okay, no, they're barely short. So if at some point their AP can be increased by 15, then they can pop out, take a shot, and pop back in.
Sit tight. Let's do this.
Alright, yeah, these guys are a little bit suppressed, but for the most part, they're doing fine. those are running away. And then we'll probably move these guys over here, have them park down. This line of sight should be blocked. That looks right. It's a little bit hard to tell, but that looks right. Yeah, I'm hoping at some point they'll maybe add the option to determine what colors these different kind of area of effect tiles are. Because as of right now, it's a little bit hard to tell where some stuff is. But okay. With that done, you are going to go do one of these. Yeah, it looks like he's trying to angle up on these guys. Yeah, the AI is pretty good in this, too. I should probably... I didn't really mention that earlier, but they do a pretty good job of trying to figure out what's going on there. Let's see, have you heard the moose? I have not, Mr. Cow. What kind of moose are we talking about today? Did they by any chance announce that they're finally making another Armored Core or what? Alright, I'm just gonna have you move here. Shred these apart. Oh, shoot. Well, that's a problem. That's probably a decent amount of distance, though. Alright, they're gonna run away. They're going for the flank and can almost get it. Alright. These guys are going to pop into cover here. I'm going to have these guys retreat. Yeah, they're going to hunker down behind that thing. Basically take over for the other group. That might be a problem, but hopefully they're just far away that they can't attack.
Yo, bugs!
Let's see, Diablo 2 just got an update after all these years, a new class.
Yeah.
Wait, like the old one? Dude, it's been decades. Are you serious? I mean, I guess, you know, such is the times or whatever, but, huh. Alright. Sure, why not? Alright, let's see. This guy's blocked. This one's going down. This one's going to be one attack here, and then these two should be dealt with. Don't know what turn we're actually on right now. Oh, we're already past 10. Okay. Within 14, that's a maybe. Next round, it should be possible to go in and take it. Alright. See, Diablo 2 Remake, technically? Okay, that makes a bit more sense. I was gonna say, like, man, they're going back to, like, the old PS1 days at this point. Be one hell of a time for a remake here. Okay. Now, question is, what are their shots on this one? Because what I'm worried about here, so if I completely pull away here, do they have any cover to pull back to? Technically, yes, but they also don't have a whole lot of firepower to be much of a threat. So, they pull up, probably move to about here, and probably park up around here. That blocks sight from here for a little bit. These guys are mostly out of the picture. These continue pew-pewing this guy until he's eventually gone. These guys could go ahead and take an attack. That'd be great, because they're about to lose people. Yeah, sometimes they get double attacks. I'm not entirely sure what that's about.
Great shot. Anytime, Carter.
Way to be!
There we go, perfect.
Let's do this.
Let's see, let's see, millennials, they crave nostalgia. I mean, this is true, but to be fair, we also had some really, really good remakes over the years, so for the most part, it's been a pretty positive trend.
Sights are sharp.
I mean, hell, sometimes stuff didn't even need a direct remake. Like when they were remaking Legend of Mana and whatnot, it basically, they did some quality of life updates, but for the rest of it, it's basically the same as the PS1 version, just easier to look at.
We're sighted.
It's surprising how well some of that stuff held up. Especially the super artistic stuff. Let's see, 3 different Diablo games got updated. I'll get the same class. Alright, what are they cross-promoting then? Alright. So we need to get rid of 70%, so we're almost there. Got into the capture area, so that's a start. I think this guy is probably... That'll be the end of that, so we only need to get rid of 1 more squad here. And one of them might already be running away, so that might not even be a factor.
Alright, let's get it!
Alright. Have them go over here. Post up just behind them, so they're basically going to be a kind of support element for these guys. And then with any luck... You got a shot on these ones? No, just barely out of range. Alright.
Go into cover.
If they post up here... Barely out of range. Alright, whatever. They're still going to take this corner. Just kind of hold it for the time being.
Do this.
And then, with any luck here, these ones will all land, and if they do... That's already one...
Contact.
It's already one looking very positive there. Ah. Yeah, we're around 12, so
Yeah.
I was going to say 2 rounds to make this happen. Yeah, whatever this was is probably these guys that are already gone.
Great shot.
There we go. Alright, so that's 14 of them gone. So technically that's this area being captured. That is everything...
103rd reporting KIA.
Ah, crap, we lost someone. Alright. These guys need to be running then. This is actually one of the reasons that I should have probably loaded up the infantry from before into the APC.
Receiving the cover.
But yeah, let's see. By the end of next round, they should be able to go there. 1, 2,
do
3, 4.
this.
It's probably going to be just shy of being enough.
Stay on him, 103rd.
I'm really hoping that it doesn't just end it at round 14, because it just might. Let's see here. Where's the button for that? Nope. That's not the button for it.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Alright.
We good?
You got a shot on these guys? Yes. Take a crouch.
Yeah. You ain't shit.
Now I'll show you the Martian.
Okay. And I think that particular line where they're talking about how they're going to show their way, I think that's what happens when they max out their
Let's do
bonus,
this.
if I'm not mistaken. Alright, and I saw there were a bunch of messages that came in. We'll be looking at those in just a sec here. There we go, that one's fleeing.
Hostile neutralized.
This guy's got 1 shot left in his MG.
Bitch made motherfuckers.
I love some of the lines they do in this. Alright, and then let's go ahead and have you ram through this one somehow, despite the fact that they're flying. Oh, it does account for the fact that they're flying. Okay, that's neat.
Get it.
Okay. Alright, and, thankfully, it doesn't fail you for not completing within 14 rounds. Perfect. Alright, so we just reclaimed the settlement there. Not the fastest thing in the world, but, you know, it's fine. Alright, you got any shots on him? Yes, you do. Yeah, decent accuracy here. And I should probably
Let's do
clarify, so when it comes to a lot of these, like, whether or not you should take a shot or not, a lot of it is very situational. Like, right here, these guys are going to have to weave around through this stuff. They probably will not have enough range to be able to hit them up here, and I'm expecting the APC to be able to run up and block this tile here. So that should be reasonably safe. How on earth you can tell the turn order, I'm honestly not entirely sure. But, alright. Alright, let's look over the comments here. So, see, only AC news is that I've run out of challenge runs to do an AC1. Have you done flamethrower? It seems like the perfect time for flamethrower. This ice just won't go away. Let's see. I know Dragon Warrior / Quest 1 got a remake, but I haven't heard much of that one. Yeah, I don't know. Funnily enough, I think I've probably played more of this parody version back on, I think it was technically DOS, called Warrior Dragon. That was just like a dragon that's trying to get revenge for everybody going after its people. Let's see, they just kind of shadow dropped the Diablo 2 Warlock update. Well, I mean, I guess that sounds mysterious enough for a Warlock. Why not? See, is this still Steam Deck in desktop mode? It's been a minute since I've consumed your content. Yes, it is still Steam Deck in desktop mode currently. Because, yeah, it's just really convenient to record stuff that way. Although I will say, as of recently, due to various situational things that happened, technically we'll be able to do PS5 stuff, so that's kind of nifty. So, you know, we'll get to that as we get to it. It mostly just means that when it comes to those particular codes, I can actually make use of them now. And that usually means that a lot of times when they're like, oh, I'm sorry, we've run out of Steam keys, tough luck, you know, nobody ever takes the PlayStation ones, so that should be perfect. Alright. Well, Xbox too. Anyway. Let's see. See, AC1 is on PSN, so I was able to stream it non-pointing phone at TV quality. But see, how else do you get the 90s people to watch it? You know, we need our grit and grain and stuff, and if you can't hear a vacuum going on in the background, are you really experiencing true 90s content? Alright, let's see. You can get Flamethrower. Didn't do that one yet. I've been doing them all from a fresh start. Is that kind of lame? I forget when you get the Flamethrower in AC1. I just remember it's basically machine gun, but worse in every possible conceivable way. Like, the thing is, as far as I recall, completely pointless. Oh, crap.
Take that out right now.
Yeah. That panic that you're hearing in her voice, which, by the way, this game's voice acting, pretty damn on point, I gotta say. But yeah, that panic is very warranted. And we're just gonna go ahead and move you right here. Oh, shoot, that's not the right squad. Well, guess who's ready to be super... Actually, no, you're not gonna do that. You're gonna pop right back in the APC. We're not doing that. No need to immediately lose a bunch of people to the last couple of stragglers on the map.
Let's do this.
Alright. When is your turn, though? Also, I love how they have the bug report button over here. Yeah, I'd like to report 3 bugs on screen right now. So, if everything works like I'm hoping it's working, the sneaky team should be safe.
Stay on 103rd.
Should be. These ones are retreating.
Yeah.
There we go, perfect. And Mr. Bog can go ahead and move over here. He's going to go ahead and turn around. Going to face this way. Dude, I love that this is a mechanic so much. Yeah, they're going to take...
Let's get it.
They're going to take some shots. Like, those guys' ranged attacks are pretty garbage, as you can probably tell, but... You know. There are moments. Alright. They're starting to run. Okay, just barely don't have enough range. Now, can you deploy out this way? Yes. Not worth the risk, though. I'm just going to have the APC run them over. There we go. See, that's the other reason that I like having that lady on the team. They're just so needlessly positive. Like, oh, you're just living through Starship Troopers right now. It's okay. Everyone gets compliments. That's great. Okay. You go here. And smush. There we go, and they're running away. That is to say, what's left of that one last one on its, like, 3 legs and an antenna is running away. Right, let's see. You can get flamethrower early, so I didn't do that one. Oh, wait, no. It's a late game on one specific path. That probably explains it, because, yeah, you never see the dang thing come up. Honestly, every time that I've ever seen it mentioned, it just always feels like, oh, hey, wait, I totally forgot that it even existed in the first one. Because it doesn't feel like it should. There's no heat mechanic. Why do you have the heat gun? Alright. Let's go ahead and have you pop out here. I don't think there's any more bugs hiding anywhere, but just in case, we're gonna have them park up there. You're probably fine where you are. Okay, we're gonna have everyone do squats, apparently. Alright, and it's done. Actually, this is another mechanic I like about this one. If you want to hunt everything down, or explore, or whatever else, you can do that, but you can also just leave. Which we're going to do right now. Okay. Alright, let's see. Got the Dragon Quest III remake a few weeks ago. First time ever playing it. Been kind of consumed by Tarkov ever since 1.0. Yeah, I've seen a lot of people get super into that one. Basically haven't really been into kind of shooter type things for a decently long time, but you know, I don't know. Nothing's ever scratched that itch ever since Bad Company 2. Like, I don't know why they haven't revisited that kind of zaniness again. Apparently the third one was planned at some point and then just got canned over and over again. And then they just kind of made more regular Battlefield games for a while, and that's kind of all she wrote. Which is weird, because they ended it on a cliffhanger like 2 decades ago at this point. But oh well. Let's see, 2D HD is my favorite thing ever. I'm gonna go get my puke bucket. Alright, let's see. Could do the last mission with it, or something that's usually the hardest one anyways. Actually, wait a minute. Don't they have, they do have cheat options in the PS1 port on Sony there. I don't know if they had any options for putting weapons on there, but I know at the very least you had, like, OPI and stuff in there. Let's see. Wish they redid FF6 in 2D HD. Okay, that's fine. Okay, like, for the stuff that was actually 2D, that makes sense. Like, it still bugs me to this day how we got, like, triangle strategy over there, trying so hard to justify being 3D. It's like, okay, so initially they tried to be, like, Baby's first Tactics Ogre clone, and then they're like, okay, we need to sort of justify 3D. Here's, like, 3 ladders and a whole lot of bloom so that it can be 3D, and it's also going to make this Switch absolutely self-destruct, so just kind of just go with that, I guess. Enjoy all the extra processing requirements for this. But yeah, no, then they went and put it in VR. Like, why on earth are you putting it in VR? It's just... they're trying so hard, but why is it there? Alright. Sorry, 2D HD is such an easy thing to point at. I apologize. I know a lot of people absolutely love it, but it hurts my eyes, dude. It really irritates me to look at. Okay. Oh, by the way, the microphone, like, little clickety-clack noise, hopefully it's somewhat dealt with today. I was planning to get a different mic sometime in the next few weeks here. I did finally figure out what the deal was with that. It's actually, like, one particular hinge that's going on in this thing. I think I temporarily found a way to deal with it, but it's still an annoying kind of piece of crap, so just let me know if that's too annoying again. Let's see. Only ever did about 3 videos. Oh, what's this? How about that? Oh, hang on just one sec, guys. Okay, never mind. Might have just been handed a way better mic. We'll see. We'll see if the Steam Deck's aux port accepts microphone inputs. It might. I actually have never thought to try it. That was kind of the reason that I haven't used it since the desktop days, because the laptop thing doesn't accept aux inputs, and I have a thing to change it to USB, but the thing is such a janky POS that it works maybe like 5% of the time. So, anyway. Um, Alright, let's see. Only about 3 confirmed videos, people including me, that have done the last mission, starter only. Might be the only one to do it pistol only, even though that's actually easier. Yeah, I was kind of surprised. Like, for how common of a run it is, it's actually similar for AC3, but that's mostly due to the Offenham fight. It's like, once you get to that point, like, the thing just does not have enough in anything to really deal with it very effectively, especially on the PSP version. So if somebody's on the PS2 version, they can just blade the thing, but if they're on PSP, because of the way that the hitbox has changed, you cannot get close, you bounce off if you try to use the knife on it. So it's kind of a weird weird exception on that one. God, that's a friggin' memory of a decade ago. Anyway, let's see. From Wolzel, you mean you never change your mech? Yeah, no, like Armored Core starter only runs have been a thing for basically since forever. Mostly because they're all of them, for the most part, with exception to like 4th gen maybe, are pretty darn iconic. Like the old like rifle missile laser setup is just, I don't know, there's just something very cozy about it, especially the 3rd gen ones where the dude just looks like, I don't know, just like a weird discount transformer or something. Just looks super blocky and everything, you know? Alright, let's see. Oh, hi there, Vale. Been a hot minute. Yeah, I was going to say earlier, by the way, it is interesting that this is one of those cases where all of your random squaddies that you can throw into your squads, they actually can swap around kind of who's in their teams or what have you. And one of the little, one of the fun kind of interactions I saw was between this guy and her. Like, I saw one of her squaddies got taken out, and then this guy's yelling that he had a sister down, and for a second there, I thought he was replacing all of his dudes with ladies, and I was just thinking, like, oh, he's got the cross from OB64. But apparently, no, it was just a call out because, like, this is... it was either her squad or her squad that ended up losing somebody, and they were just kind of calling that out. Also, you get to have more people. Get more dudes, please. Actually, wait, what's your promotion look like? She's cheap, so her promotion is pretty decent. Mark target, gain 20% accuracy, get better growth potential, 10 plus an accuracy for each attack versus the same target. Or scouting for range and detection. Yes. Gimme. So you'll notice that they have the option for demoting somebody. So it increases somebody's deployment cost every time that you give them a promotion. So genuinely, like, if you send out a team and they're too experienced, they're just not going to work well with each other. So rookies actually have their place here. Also, wait a second. Dude's name is Stifler. All right. Anyway, let's see. Triangle didn't need that treatment. I beg to differ. Man, we make fun of Triangle around here. That's just the way. Okay, so we've got 2 different options: extermination or collecting samples. So let's see, backline personnel attacks. Need to get rid of 70% of units, complete within 10 rounds. Looks like a pretty standard bug hunt type thing. This one needs specimens collected. So you need to collect specimens, tag them as a group of crucial critters, hunt them down, bring them back. Exfiltrate after all samples are collected. This seems like an infinite... Yeah, you gotta evacuate out of this one. How about let's do nothing fancy at this point, but let's go over to the black market, see what kind of stuff can be gotten for all of this. Because I would like to at least have a heavy weapon on the team here. Let's see. So we got 160 to deal with. What's this? Got the saw. Gimme. We got some flamethrowers, things like that. I just figured the saw is probably going to be more of a good general purpose kind of option here, because this guy needs something. And that's his special. He's able to go and attack without needing to deploy normally. So actually, that's actually another thing I should probably mention. There's a lot of like little hidden mechanics to this game. That's kind of one of those things that makes it so fun to talk about here. So like, for example, this guy. Special weapons and whatnot, those are going to be applied to the leader, generally speaking. So in this case, while, for example, this is a new weapon added here, this does take away one of the carbines from the squad here. So in this case, you are technically losing a thing for that. So like, if you ended up putting a rocket launcher on a team, they aren't like carrying this on their back like it's XCOM or something. They are completely switching over to that particular thing. Which is kind of nifty. There's a lot of these little kind of small logistics to consider whenever going over these. Okay, let's see, back to the comments here. And hi there to you too, Tranquil Tarwig, nice to see you. See, that sounds ridiculous. Haven't played Core since 2, but I can't even fathom that. I mean, most of the starter ACs are generally pretty okay, all things considered. Like, the starter AC, let's say in 3rd gen, is pretty decent at building up heat. So, like, for example, going through the arena, like, I considered a full clear of any Armored Core game to be, like, arena first, and then missions, like, one playthrough of the story. And so, like, most of the arena fights were, like, you throw out a couple missiles to go build up some heat, you use the rifle to finish off the heat buildup, and then you go for the blade to save on ammo, because its ammo is really low, heat buildup's pretty decent, shell defense is fantastic, energy defense is a joke, and it basically is running out of stamina like it's, 500 pounds on a full buffet diet, but the thing is, generally pretty darn decent. They can't fly worth a crap, they can't dodge worth a crap, but they can usually make use of that initial good shell defense to be pretty reasonably tanky against a lot of things. But it's a fun thing to think about. The 2nd gen one, I mean, honestly, it's just funny to be playing through the entire thing as a teddy bear. 1st gen, you get to experience the wonder that is your rifle having recoil. Because they forgot to add the recoil animation to every single other thing other than the starting rifle. 4th gen, you actually start off pretty fancy. I mean, honestly, everything 4th gen and up, you start off pretty fancy. Like, by the time you get to 6th gen, the friggin' space mech is genuinely starting off with some of the best stuff in the game, so you're fine. Okay. Yeah, I love how we came here to talk about Menace, and we're just going to be talking about Armored Core, apparently. Okay, so we got light snowfall, got daytime conditions, these guys are going to be coming down a road. There's one target squad over here to get rid of. You guys get over here. Probably just going to have everyone fully deployed and then just use the mount as a way to hopefully hide some people if we need to. Probably throw the mech up the road there. Well, actually, you know what? Maybe we'll throw the APC over here because there's some higher terrain by the looks of it. It might take the infantry a bit more time to get through there, so I think these guys are marching up the road. Pop, pop, pop on these ones, and then hopefully probably hunker down around here, probably shoot and scoot going down this way. Seems about right. Alright, let's see. Don't have any of those recorded, but did a bunch of challenge stuff in the PSP games, Blade only, Rocket only. Yeah, 3rd gen is, especially on PSP, 3rd gen is just so good for Rocket only. I love it. Alright, yeah, honestly, this guy's fine with having fewer rifles. Most of his firepower is going to be coming from the saw here, so I think we'll sacrifice even one more guy from his squad. Sneaky squad gets to do their thing. What do your promotions look like? So yeah, I think we'll probably have her go for concealment with the next promotion here. All right. Oh, one more thing I should probably mention. So, between fights, okay? So, sometimes you lose people, sometimes they take injuries. A lot of times when they take injuries, they'll be right back because you're doing, like, mission. Then you take a break from that zone, and then, like, you again just go on another sort of campaign throughout an entire region. So all these missions are just, like, clustered up into several mini-campaigns, which I'm kind of mad at myself for not going over that earlier. Like, this is technically part 2 of 3 of going through this particular area, and that's awesome. It's basically taking the same idea of something like the siege maps or whatever else from something like Tactics Ogre there, and then bringing it in a situation that makes more sense. Like, you can call in more support stuff, you can call in more deliveries for items or what have you, but you're committed to either going through the thing or just accepting a loss and getting chewed out by the local faction there for failing your mission there. Anyway. So, alright. This is probably decent enough. That's all we can reasonably bring. Don't have anything else that I can really throw in here. And okay, let's go ahead and launch it then. Alright. Let's see. Like the third shift video, did that friend end up taking that advice? I believe they did end up changing their mind, but I guess we'll see if see how things end up playing out over time. But yeah, no, kind of on my way out in that particular regard, because yeah, third shift is one hell of a thing. Definitely would not recommend it. It's one of those things that seems like it would be a perfect fit. Like I've always been a night person. Every time that I ever did, any kind of computer work or what have you, I would go and do it at night. I did my best work at night. I was always able to focus best at night. I love doing delivery work at night. And then, then I tried doing the whole third shift thing, and oh boy, it really wears on you quick. Like at first, it's like, oh, it's the physical side of things. I'm going and friggin' lifting hundreds of pounds of soup throughout the night. Like as of today, my arms are hurting, my fingers are tingling. Legs are occasionally not feeling super great. Kind of figured out ways to avoid the whole back pain thing. But yeah, no. Like that part wasn't great, and I initially thought that was going to be the main problem of third shift, because again, that was more of a labor intensive kind of thing. But yeah, then it went on and on and on and on and on, and then it just became clearer and clearer how impossible it was to find a time to sleep. And then I'm looking at everybody else that's there. It's like, oh, how's your zombie look going? Oh, I'm like 90% towards zombie. What about you? Oh, about 80% towards complete zombie. What about you? I managed to sleep a week ago. I feel great. like, yeah. It's just one of those things. All right. Anyway, let's have you move into position over here. This actually looks like it's going to be some pretty decent cover along this mountain here. She's still suffering from her accuracy debuff, so we're just going to go ahead and have her circle around here. He's probably going to take a shot and scooch backwards, because that thing, I believe, can punch through this thing's armor. Meanwhile, you are going to go ahead and...
Hustle 103rd.
Yeah, they're reasonably covered from this direction. I'm just going to go ahead and have them take a knee here. I'm just going to keep an eye out on this direction, since again the goal here is just a straight up fight. So yeah, we'll go from there. Alright, shred this thing's armor. You know what? Actually, no. Just maybe go for a full shred of this thing. Alright. Yeah, that's decent. His armor is a little bit affected, but... yeah, it should be fine. Let's see. Yeah, neither of his guns is reasonably able to reach anything here. Well, I'll just go ahead and have them park up around here, and their turn. You're going to start moving this direction. Actually, you know what? Maybe start moving behind the APC here, because I do want them to mount up. So yeah, that's mostly covered. Again, this thing's going to take a shot and scooch backwards next round. They should be approaching here, so I'm just going to sit tight for the time being. Hopefully get some shots off from concealment. So if you do get some shots off and the other guys haven't detected you, which, yeah, there's like a constant kind of concealment war going on between your different units. If they haven't detected you, then you will find yourself in a position that you're going to be able to get additional damage off, can get additional suppression off, additional kind of, I guess, threat off, as it were. Alright, he's going to go ahead and run away. Alright. And I think at that point... no, actually, they're going to stay here. I'm going to have these guys sort of sketch out here a little bit, see what's happening. You're going to load up. APC is going to move up and finish that thing off.
Let's do this. Moving to waypoint.
Alright, nothing yet. Just Gonna have them enter in there. Yeah, I'm leaving them with a little bit of extra movement at the end of their turn, just so they can sort of spot something and then move backwards. So they gotta eliminate that guy apparently. Right. There you go there. Finish that. Thankfully, even on the highest difficulty, it's super inaccurate. I don't know if that's meant to be a commentary on the start of Starship Troopers or not, but whatever. There are friggin' space lasers coming out of their mouths. Alright. Y'all can go ahead and hop out. Take a little bit of a pew-pew break over this direction. There we go. Now they can get run over. Please don't have enough AP.
Let's do this.
Yeah, these will have enough for one round of shots. In fact, actually, it's probably worth doing something like that, maybe?
Keep them landing.
Alright, that's decent. Yeah, I really wish this had a like a TO style turn order, because it is a little bit discombobulating to look at it like that. Alright. Now, as much as I want to use the SAW team for this, one goes here. Yeah, both teams are fleeing. This means that this one can go focus on this one, and that's 3 fleeing in a single round. Perfect. And now these rifles can go pick this one off, because the rifles don't have much effectiveness, since it is basically 3 rifles and the machine gun guy. Oh, and they just kind of scattered to the wind. Perfect. Alright, so you take a knee. Take a few shots off on them, and hopefully they'll have like a high contrast mode or something down the road. Would be pretty nice to see.
That's what I'm fucking talking about.
There we go, shred them up, hop in here. That gives a few more pieces to go and sell down the road, I think is how that works. And alright, looking good. Okay, nothing really new to see here. But either way, it's looking decent. Alright. Nothing new to see there. I think we'll probably have the Mars team go here.
Xenos.
Love that that the spy or the spec ops lady over here is scared of the aliens because it's not what they're used to, and that is awesome. That's the first time that I've actually bothered using that on this guy, and that is really good.
We good, we good.
Exactly, he's good. Okay. So that'll be acceptable there. Go and hop out this direction. Take one shot on these guys, because they're technically wavering, but there we go, finish them off.
Press a shooting marine.
And already most of the way done here.
Let's do this.
Yeah, we got a ridge over here, which should help a little bit. I'm going to scooch up slightly, have them take a knee just over this ridge. Now, I don't... Like, I know getting a crater will give you some bonuses. I don't know if taking a ridge does. I would imagine it does. Because, like, given everything else that this game bothers to model out, it absolutely should. But, whatever. We'll put that there. Hopefully it's fine. This thing is behind a fence and everything else. Like, it's a freaking Metal Gear. I don't know what this thing is going to be looking like. Yeah, we'll just end you right there. Just so you know, I don't think there's any kind of, like, Overwatch mechanic, like it's XCOM or something. But yeah, I'm just kind of leaving them with a little bit of space so that there's the option to retreat. there should be good. Go ahead and saw this thing down. And miss practically every shot. Fantastic. Alright. Alright, good. They're running.
Let's do this.
Just for good measure, because I don't trust them to not immediately attack upon running away. I'll do one of those. And have you move over here. Perfect. Alright, let's see. Don't know if I did the Last Raven Portable pistol only, but definitely did that in the PS2 version. Yeah, Last Raven Portable, well, actually, Last Raven, any of them. Like, LR in general was really fun for kind of weapon-specific runs. Like, I remember that one fondly. Like, that was a good one. It's like, basically anything weapon-specific or anything that, I guess just anything that didn't require necessarily getting up super close, because the blading is sort of janky in LR, but everything gun-specific was really fun in that one. Right. Let's have you go here. It's a little bit risky, but we're probably fine. There we go. And then you go ahead and go here, because we want her ideally going from this ridge behind this thing. Perfect. Alright, how far in range are you? 2 tiles, but it's fine. We're just going to have you park up here. Because I'm assuming this thing's going to be dramatically scarier. So she's got the 2 extra detection tiles here. Thinking we probably move you this direction, take a little bit of a shot here. Probably, let's see, how much is rotation going to cost? 12, so that'll give him just enough to be able to stealth fire. So he's going to turn his back in that direction. If they decide to attack, they would have to attack from here. Because I think these guys are melee only, and apparently I miscounted all of his points. So, totally wasted that opportunity. That would have been a pretty good ambush. But that's okay. We do stupid stuff around here sometimes. Okay. You go here. Crouch up on top of this hill on the off chance that it does give you a terrain bonus. You go ahead and park up at this building. Take a little bit of a crouch, and hopefully do a decent number. Yeah, these guys are pretty heavily armored by the looks of it. Yeah, about 50%, give or take, accuracy. Armor's completely blocking the shots, but that's fine.
Ricochet.
Yeah, right now they're just kind of trying to shred the armor. They've got plenty of ammo for it. The previous one, ammo was starting to become a concern. This one, we're mostly fine. Especially because this one's going to shred it off pretty good in a bit of a second here. Let's see, played the demo of this, was pretty fun, but we'll wait for 1.0. I mean, this is well, this is the full release. Okay, it's not full release. It is still technically early access and whatnot. But apparently enough people ended up going for it. Like enough people were actually going and buying and playing it on day one, what have you, that they actually moved up the timeline for what they're doing with it. So hopefully we'll see a lot more goodness coming out. All right, can you reach? Yeah, this thing's armor is ridiculously good, it turns out. That's potentially problematic. Okay. How are we looking? Because it's 50%. It's more so getting a concussion than anything else.
On target.
How much did that take off? 5? Okay.
Sharp.
Lots of crits on that one. So they're down to 20. Yeah, one more attack from the APC and we should be good. Oh, perfect. Okay. So that one's dealt with. Okay, so that's apparently half the stuff on this map now. Let's see, so there is some height variance and not just flat maps. Oh yeah, no, there is height variance, but I don't know to what degree it necessarily matters. Like, you can see right here, it is sloped. They do seem to have excellent accuracy when firing from up here, so I'm assuming that's confirmation of what that is. But don't know for absolutely certain. Like, it certainly feels that way. Like I was mentioning earlier, like, you can blow up the ground in order to make cover craters and stuff like that, so there is a lot of consideration for terrain modification and what have you. The mechanics are there.
Always ready.
Right. Oh, by the way, the random, like, ding-ding kind of sound that you're hearing every now and then, that's actually a toggleable feature. If you don't, like, if you want to make it so that you don't accidentally pull people out of cover. It's like if you have them in cover, or if you have them kind of holding a position or what have you, you can turn on the option for it to just give you a warning if you're about to go move them on accident, which is generally pretty useful. Okay. Should be able to move this here. Use a few extra tiles. Now, when it comes to detection, one thing that I do kind of want to check is I don't know if those detection tiles, like if they apply if, let's say, you put somebody in an APC. We're going to have to test that. Alright, rifles are kind of sucking there. Guns seemed pretty decent there. But if the rest of these are just going to be little buggies, I think we're fine.
Let's do this.
Alright, that's one group fleeing, second group fleeing the second.
That's it, Marines.
These guys can probably just run over. Kind of out of points, but honestly, they're probably just going to attack this thing and bounce off. Yeah, one of the perks that you can get let you run into stuff with a bit more effectiveness. Like, you can just kind of drive straight through them rather than having to rev up and ram them. Honestly, the ability as it starts off with is pretty decent as it is.
Start.
Yeah, actually, another thing that I think this format does a pretty good job of showing off here is actually ditching a mechanic that XCOM's been doing since the 90s, which is just turn directions and whatnot, which, like, on paper, it should be a pretty cool mechanic. But that whole thing where you just can't take a shot, you know, you're gonna lose your entire squad to a chrysalid or something because you're in a position that that somebody ended up facing slightly too far to the left or something, especially if you were on the PS1 version. And it's like, oh, you know, you accidentally hit L1 or R1 and you're just very slightly, you know, facing the wrong direction now. That kind of stuff was really, really annoying. So in this particular instance, it looks like they did away with it entirely, so whenever you're making a movement, you can, you know, directly see what the hell you're dealing with. It's like right here, you move, it tells you your counter up there on the bottom. That's, like, what you see is what you get. There's no surprises. These guys are just going to continue spitting acid at these ones. They're going to get suppressed. Going to skitter forward a little bit. Barely out of range. There we go. And then, let's see. I think we're going to save the MG for right now.
Put it on 'em.
Yeah, I love the way that they did the specials in this one, where It's like for the most part, your people are going to be running around with rifles, but in this case, they can run with less people and then effectively still have the same firepower of like an entire full group if you end up setting it up right. Like if you end up using that more limited resource for that purpose. It's just cool. There's a lot of stuff that they did here that the genre in general has been playing around with for decades and just maybe didn't quite completely finish. Like the whole interactability between all of your different units that you saw from something like Jagged Alliance. It's good to see all your people know each other and bantering, but you're not losing all of that kind of sort of morale mechanic, bantering mechanic, or whatever else to one like random explosion that went off, and now all of a sudden, your playthrough went from fun to depressing. So you don't necessarily have to worry about that. We're also not in, well, the sort of expected sword and sorcery type of setting, which isn't bad. It's just that we don't really see too much stuff out of it. There's a lot of the sort of detection mechanics that we saw in something like Silent Storm, and basically haven't seen in much of anything else for the most part. I mean, granted, it was super janky in that one, but they tried, so give them some credit, I suppose. But a lot of those same kind of mechanics are just kind of done better here, That's not what I meant to do. I was meaning to do the ram, but you know what? That works too. So yeah, there's stuff like that. As far as the panic mechanic that we saw expanded on in something like XCOM in various different ways, it's cool to see it done a bit better here. Where instead of simply running in the opposite direction, we do see cases where they just basically decide to stop following orders and just do something that is, like I mentioned earlier, like where this guy decided to get all angry, decided that he didn't have any faith in command anymore, and he was just going to go, bum rush with his APC. Like that's just cool. It gives a lot of personality to everything, Also got plenty of ammo left, so we're just going to continue taking shots on these guys. I think they get experience on mission completion, so it's not like we're farming for XP or what have you. Not that that stuff really even necessarily helps in this case, since again, the whole deployment cost thing that we've seen, let's say, since the Ogre Battle days, is potentially a mechanic that's explored quite a bit with the promotion system in this one, that if you promote somebody too much, they get too big for their britches and whatnot. They're just too expensive to deploy now, because they need all the fancy stuff. It's just cool. They've done a lot of good stuff here. Honestly, what Unicorn Overlord did for OB64 is what this one has done for a lot of different things in the genre. So, like, yes, it is still technically in early access, but good God, they are juggling a lot of excellent ideas here. I love it. Alright, let's see. See, decide to do this now while I'm thinking about it. Morica. Okay, I'm assuming that's the pistol only run. Let's see, there's some height variants, not just flat maps? Yeah. Or wait, I think I already read that before. Let's see, all power to the devs, hopefully not overworking themselves. Nice to see the success. Yeah, I mean, honestly, I'm assuming they're probably just taking advantage of the morale there, because, like, it has to be quite the boost, because normally whenever early access stuff comes out, like, you get stuff like what happened with Xenonauts 2, where they're like, look, guys, we've been trying, and it's been, years at this point. Every time that they put out something, somebody gets pissed off for basically some usually really petty reason. Like, honestly, I feel for those guys, because, like, every single time they try something cool, it feels like their forums are just like, no, this is the worst thing ever, actually. But, it is what it is. That's how it goes for everything. I mean, same thing for a lot of indie devs in particular. Like, in this case, they actually had a, reasonable budget. And in fact, actually, it's kind of fun to see... So the people that did the funding for this one is actually the same government organization over in Germany that actually did the part of the funding for Aethermancer, which we were covering a little while back. That's the one that's basically like Magic the Gathering, but a roguelike. So yeah, that's kind of nifty to see. Okay, let's see. Where is my RAM option? There we go. This guy's looking a bit worse for wear at this point. Right. I'm gonna go this way. Can I turn him? No. Yeah, that thing's armor is getting pretty decently shredded. I'm hoping I can bait these ones to come a little bit closer. Because, yeah, that thing's...
Hey, don't get hit!
Oof. Okay, well, there he goes.
Like I trained!
Yeah, he's still recoverable, so that'll be fine. This one's a bit more of a problem.
Let's do this.
For now, this one just all needs to get piled on.
Stay on him, 103rd.
Yes, there's one of them.
Put it on him.
Let's see, how much have you played so far? I've gotten probably like an hour or two into a couple of different just sort of like throwaway kind of test campaigns. Yeah, I have not had the time that I would have liked to look into this one yet. So still getting there. You know, usual thing. You know, kiddos, work, all that sort of thing. It's been busy. It's always busy.
Let's do this.
Right, now these should be the last two groups here. Alright, they're getting shredded. Just their safety, in case they change their mind, I'm just going to go ahead and finish them off. Thankfully that was a miss. Take one shot at this thing. Get up, and you're gonna run. See, I got a little bit of time to go pull him out of the burning APC. I don't think we're gonna be able to use him for a while. But hopefully there's enough bug parts out of this thing to be able to work on. That's everything dead. Just gotta pull the guy out of the APC and we're good. Yeah, there's barely not enough points. See, the thing is, if I leave now, I don't know... I think he still counts as fine. See, heavily wounded and will bleed out, permanently die within 4 rounds. Other infantry standing next to them can stabilize them to ensure their survival. If I leave now, I don't know if it's like XCOM rules that it counts as it's completed, so you're good. Because I know if I end the turn, there's a pretty solid chance that he does guarantee the bleed out, and, you know, these guys are 1 tile away, it's slightly too far. I think we're just gonna have to try it. See if he makes it. Alright. So we've got some stuff. I don't know... Okay, I think it yeah, so it does count as he made it. Apparently he's euphoric, so gain 2 positive emotional states in a row. This character is now euphoric, which generally increases greatly increases their combat effectiveness. Apparently he's euphoric about getting blown up and set on fire, but he's also injured from a near-death experience for the next two rounds there, so he's just... apparently he's just an extreme masochist, I don't know. Alright, Happy Lady is also euphoric. Apparently everyone's happy except for Machine Gun Guy, who you'd think would be the happiest with his gigantic pew-pew gun, but whatever. Moving on. Let's see, listening to player feedback, definitely modern curse disguised as blessing. Wait, what? What are we talking about there? Hang on, what are we talking about modern curses disguised as blessings? I'm apparently missing something. I'm also going to go over here, see if it's possible to sell some stuff, maybe get another cheap vehicle or something. Something for Mr. Injured Guy to drive. Gives us 190. That's enough for a... We can get him a pickup truck. Alright, cool. I guess you're driving a pickup truck, sir. Perfect. Anything else for 50 by chance? So what's this? Dossier unlocks a random squad leader for hiring. That's... Okay. Forget the truck for right now. Let's see what we got here. We got high caliber weapons. We got that. We got some various types of rifles. We got pistols, which are more of like a close range kind of thing. So yeah, they're basically like a portable anti-armor option of sorts. An anti-material rifle, a crocodile. Come to think of it, isn't that the thing that they're using in Ukraine right now? If I recall correctly. It's like those. They had these absolutely ginormous sniper rifles. I'm pretty sure it's that one. All right, let's see. Oh, modern feedback is a curse disguised as a blessing. Yeah, no, I think I was saying that in a video the other day too. It's just like you get the weirdest things where somebody's just got some extremely oddly specific thing that they absolutely positively must have right now, and it again like seeing somebody go on a massive tirade to the point that they get banned over specifically needing attack dogs from the final mod pack from XCOM. Which, like, yeah, they're cool and stuff, but you also got the robots doing the same job, so, like, why do you need to see that happen to a dog? It's just, it doesn't... It's there because it was workable in that system, you know, they didn't have Jeeps running things over. You got a different mechanic to do the same thing, you know? Like, yeah, you could use their little sniffer to sniff, but you also got sensors on the robot, so again, same thing, different package, who cares? Alright. Let's see, sometimes the people leaving feedback they get listened to are the ones that just want things to be easier. I don't think this game's all that hard, would hate for it to become dumbed down. I mean, yeah. And, hell, for that matter, sometimes you see quite a few cases where it's like, it's not even necessarily that somebody wants something easier, but, like, sometimes they just automatically assume a bunch of things over and over. Like, I saw that quite a bit over something like the first Xenonauts there, where if you talk to anybody that's been around for a decently long time, eventually they will have that opinion. Like, oh, it's just, you know, it's too easy for me. The original was too easy. There's no way to do anything other than mods. And then it's like, when's the last time you actually played the higher difficulties of that thing? Because it is stressfully difficult at a lot of times. It is chaotic, and in theory, there's a lot of ways to cheese things, but it's certainly not, you know, not really easy. It's like, sure, eventually you get to the point where you're standing in front of a door, and it's like, if you've brought enough things, you can just mow down everything in there, but this is, again, assuming you know all of the mechanics inside and out and whatnot. Okay, hang on, let's see here. So, got grenades and such over here. I'm kind of tempted to try doing the whole pistol thing. The problem is this leaves us with one guy not really doing much of anything. Okay, we'll just save a couple of these claws for barter for later. Go ahead and see if this guy can actually be used at the moment. There you go. Take your shitty truck. We can't even put a gun on it. Fantastic. He's just going to drive a truck now. So hardware costs, negative 30% in supply in exchange for negative 30% health? Probably not. Negative 50 AP percent vehicle turns. I mean, whatever. He's got a Jeep. He's going to go ram things, I guess. He's cheap. It'll work. Is there anything... Is there anything over here that I can slap onto this thing? Like, as far as modular stuff goes, there's this. What the hell can this thing even equip? Shitty Jeep, what can we do with you? Modular vehicle medium 1. What is that? What is medium in this case? Just light, medium. Okay, so auto laser. Okay, flamethrower or rocket launcher, but so we got 50, we got 90, not even close to be able to afford that stuff. Okay, alternative plan for 90. I mean, I probably won't be able to afford another vehicle for a minute, but smoke. I mean, that'll be useful for later, probably not for right now. It allows to carry more accessories, but adds no protection. This one gives it a little bit of protection. What do we got for rifles? Let's see. Short to medium distance, give us some extra range. Lower accuracy. You know what? Maybe not. Let's, I think we're just going to try to make it work as is. Alright, so, last mission of the whole thing here. So, contaminate pools, apparently. Get everybody to an evac zone, so you still gotta run. Okay, so, found a way to exterminate the pests for a long time. A chemical synthesized for this purpose has to be delivered to the central breeding pools of the critters. The area will be swarming with specimens of all sizes and types, and they will aggressively attack any intruder. Well, conveniently, we have a shitty truck for delivering things. Okay. Do you have anything that makes you drive faster? See, okay, negative 50% vehicle turns, that's something. Negative 30% supply. I'm kind of starting to think this might actually be a good idea. Because normally when you give somebody a promotion, it causes them to be more expensive. This allows us to bring more people while also having a shitty truck. So we'll do that. Plus 5% for each tile moved. Plus 5% defense, I should say. Okay, that seems like the next promotion here. This unit can wait to act later. Okay. Yeah, I think we're just going to go all in for crazy old man in a shitty pickup truck. Oh god, this map looks horrific. Okay. So, do that. Good to know. Now, I'm assuming they all are going to be carrying what they need to carry to get rid of the thingamajig there. Alright. So you've got that. What do we have for promotion points here? 5. Okay, so I'm not going to be able to afford anything. See, it depends really. There's plenty of diehards who will try to push their favorite mechanics which make games harder. Main problem is not easier or harder, but eliminating depth vision. Yeah, and there was quite a big push, for example, with Xenonauts 2 there. There was quite a lot of folks that specifically wanted it to basically just become X Division and nothing else, which is cool. Don't get me wrong, that mod is absolutely incredible. But also, I'm pretty sure 99% of their audience is not going to sit there willingly, doing the same map for 4 hours straight, trying to figure out which window something's hiding behind, So yeah. Alright, now thankfully, because... We're going to say thankfully because the APC got annihilated and, shitty pirate truck. This means that we have a lot more points to spend, so a lot more grunts to go send out on missions and whatnot. So these guys are just going to be plowing through here. Speedy Truck is going to go zoom and go here. And hopefully that doesn't end horribly. So yeah. Actually, come to think of it, I think because of this guy's perk, he's actually negative on his deploy cost. Supply cost... Yeah, his supply cost is 10, hers is 40... Alright. Well, actually, hers is 4. Smiley Lady does not care about being here at all. She packs her own granola, apparently. Okay. That is about all we can do here, and hopefully... You're deploying with no weapon. Do you really want to start? I mean, no, but I can't put anything on this, so, like, what do you want? Okay. We'll see how badly this goes. See, he was referring to Xenonauts 2 having fans talking about new features being the worst thing ever. Yeah. I mean, at this point, it seems like they finally got their ducks in a row, though. I mean, Xeno 2 these days is looking pretty good. Like, at this point, they got, like, a more fun version of the spy mechanics from Xeno 2. They got a little bit of, like, XCOM flavor, or, sorry, what's it? XCOM files, there we go. They got a little bit of that flavor going on. What do I want to do with this guy? So yeah, they've got stuff. It's nifty. It's working pretty reasonably well. The early phase has a lot more identity at this point. The whole bit where you're fighting against spies and whatnot feels pretty great. So it's got identity. It's got it's certainly got a lot more energy than it did in the early days. Like the first couple of years there, it definitely felt like it was constantly waffling around with what it was trying to do. I mean, like, I don't even know how many different versions of the robots they had going.
Sights are sharp. On target.
Yeah, there's an optional objective to find lost workers here. Considering everybody's immediately getting swarmed, I don't think that's happening. But yeah, we'll see if Operation Shitty Pickup will do anything here. Vroom, vroom. Like, I genuinely don't even know how you do the contamination thing. I assume you just stop on that tile.
Send it up! We're good! We're good!
Alright. And you are going to go ahead and stand up and get ready to run.
How can you miss my big black ass?
Read a line from this guy's gold.
Engaging the enemy.
Alright, so they're fleeing, they're good. Yeah, fleeing is usually better than dead in most cases. Like, sure, you'd miss out on some of their parts probably, but, like,
Let's do this.
they're taking up a tile that otherwise would not be taken up.
That's it, Marines.
Now, somebody with half a functional brain would probably say, hey, maybe, you know, uncrouch after taking the shots, but maybe they just needed to stretch their legs. We're going to go ahead and assume the calisthenics are going to make them shoot more accurately, because, you know, they got to get blood flow going. Okay. Shitty truck go zoom. A little bit more suppressed, but nobody's dead yet.
Oh yeah!
Right. They're going to start marching forward. Those guys are going to disappear with the next volley of rifle shots, I think. Yeah, by the way, I love whoever made that sound design decision to give that little breaking glass effect as soon as their morale breaks. I mean, honestly,
Let's do this.
in general, I feel like that's something that that needs to get praised more. It's like any game that allows you to do something other than just directly squashing the thing in front of you. I always love a good pacifist mechanic. It's part of the reason that MGS2 is my favorite one of those.
We've got movement.
Okay. Seems like it'll be a thing this game, but it would be nice to see some urban or mountain stuff that utilize some verticality. There are more urban settings. Right now, this is basically just like an ice planet, so haven't really seen any of that as of yet, because, you know, that's just not what we're doing here. But yeah, there's way more urban settings and stuff like that later. Or not even later, we could have been there already, it's just not the area that I chose to start off with, because I figured the bugs would be easier to deal with on this difficulty.
Let's get it.
Because yeah, when you're on expert, it gives you a lot more stuff to play with. So like at the very start, you don't even have any heavy weapons or anything. So instead, you start off exclusively with just your basic carbines and stuff. And for example, when you're going and doing the pirate maps, that means that there's going to be more need for stuff like flanking or what have you,
Sir?
which is kind of difficult to do with just basic rifles. I mean, and I shouldn't say difficult to do. It's more like it's just if you end up needing to break through a place, if you don't have a good way to circle around, sometimes just shooting and scooting is the best way to handle things. But either way. Okay, morale broken. And those guys are fine. So good, all these ones running away. They're not even remotely close to their actual goal yet, but, you know, give it time. I think probably move here, take a crouch, take a shot. I really love how readable the UI is here. Perfect.
Nice. I appreciate it.
Which, by the way, I should probably mention, yeah, there's going to be a sponsorship thing. There was actually a sponsorship on the channel for the first time in a bit of a minute that's going to be coming up here, which it certainly exists. I'm assuming they're probably not going to be listening this far into something like this, so we can just go ahead and, you know, shit-talk them right now. Yeah, it's mediocre at best, I'll be honest, but you know what? A paycheck's a paycheck. Anyway... Alright, so, let's see. How do we even contaminate this? Because this is just all we do, right? Maybe he has to face it? I don't know. Guess we'll find out.
Oh yeah.
Alright, but yeah, so as far as the urban areas, I haven't seen, like, a lot of up and down type stuff, but there are, for example, tower mechanics, like deployable towers, deployable buildings, kind of similar to what the hell was it called?
Hey, we got bugs. Yo, I got a brother down.
Man, why can I not remember the name of it? There was that. There was one of those online ones. It was really popular, like 15-ish years ago. For some reason, it deployed with like 2 factions, even though there were like 8 of them. And for some reason, 2 of those factions were also the same faction, but slightly different. World War II thing. You could deploy people into houses. You could deploy people into buildings. You spent resources every turn to either get more squads or to get more like call-ins for like airstrikes or supplies or something. What the hell was that? Anybody remember?
Let's do this.
Alright, you got the range on this guy? No. Alright, that should be
Hustle
just
103rd.
far enough. Alright, that's roughly a third of his armor gone. So as soon as he gets close, he should be toast. Now, I'm assuming all I have to do is run this over. And, by the way, I just love that emotional state is actually considered. Like, I know they did this in Battle Brothers also. Like, these devs love to do a good morale mechanic, but, like, you love to see it. Okay, now can we just run this over, or what's the deal? How do we sabotage? I guess we just sort of break it, but can I not ram this? Is that not a thing? Because if that's going to be the case, then I guess New Order of Business, he's just going to distract everybody.
Bogies.
Alright. Well, that could be a problem, but hopefully we're fine.
They're on my ass, Major.
See, PSP controls are rough. I disagree. I love the PSP controls. I mean, granted, they are an acquired taste, but like, I don't know, I just love the way that they sort of moved everything to the D-pad. It's just, if you got chunky fingers, it's so convenient. Alright. Let's move you hereabouts. Gonna try to run this guy down. He's slightly more run down.
Let's do this.
Races! Thank you. Alright. Do the crouchy crouch. Wavering and broken. The bug is the spooked. Now that being said, I don't think there's an infinite spawning mechanic. Alright, so, simple way to test about this whole bug thing. I'm going to have him go run up to some of the bugs and see if there's the option to go run them over. That might only be an APC thing. It could be very possible that Shitty Truck does not have that option, which is problematic, but I'm assuming if we deal with all the swarms and things. Alright. Is this an option? Okay, there is the ram option. So apparently you just can't ram the nests. That's just not how that works. Okay.
Taking fire.
Alright, we're just gonna use the truck to scout
They
them.
got us zeroed.
This is starting to look a bit rough.
Let's do this.
Oh, by the way, one more thing I actually haven't brought up to this point. The Steam Deck controls on this thing are actually surprisingly decent out of the box. I mean, yeah, you can only rotate in one direction. For some reason they didn't bind it in both directions, but, like, it's surprisingly convenient. Surprisingly playable.
Yeah.
Alright. Smush the bug. See? Who needs pew-pews anyway?
It's a firefight. Have KIA.
Squashed it.
Sir? Roger.
We can have them move this way to try and circle around.
That's my signal to whatever.
Because I would assume these guys are probably winning against this group here.
Contact. Keep him landing.
And if Shitty Pickup can go run over a few more things over here, that probably will mean that these guys are trickling in slow enough that it's not going to be as much of a problem, but this group needs to go over here, deal with this one. Probably at this point they need to start dealing with these ones. Again, the only complaint I have about this one so far is just that the turn order is kind of hard to read. Because, like, you've probably noticed a couple of times now that we ended up having units getting losses simply due to the fact that there was just no way to know who was taking their turn next. So somehow they're getting double turns. Sometimes sitting tight seems to help. Like, I assume it's a TO type, like, recovery time type of system, but I have no idea for sure. Alright. These guys stand. Probably go about here. And then they do this thing with a
Die here if you want me to. Dumb pieces of shit. Stupid motherfucker.
the old guy just being an angry old Fortnite chief is just never not funny. Have a good time of day in whatever time zone? Yep, it is currently still
Let's
midnight.
do this. That's it, Marines.
There we go, that one's done, that one's done. How they expected this to be done within 12, I don't know. But either way, most of them are running away. Hopefully these guys have a chance over here. Skitter critters absolutely everywhere. Huh.
Oh, some buggerinos. Yeah.
Yeah, that ain't gonna be enough. This thing... There we go. I was gonna say something's broken on his Jeep, but I don't know what.
Alright, Major. Now try.
Like, this is what I mean. These guys have acted 3 times, I think, now, and nothing on these guys.
I'm a one-man Armageddon, motherfucker.
Guess I'll take this shit into my own hands.
Ah, crap. So yeah, this is what I was talking about before. Like, at that point, he's just not listening to stuff anymore. Alright.
Go into cover.
Either way. Pretty much clear to get everything done now, I
Let's do
think.
this.
Because everybody else is running. There's one more group over there, but with everyone grouped up here,
All right.
I think we're probably fine.
Bump it.
But this one in particular I want to have here to go deal with this bug. Unfortunately, yeah, this guy's not listening anymore. He's currently on fire. And he decided to...
Coming.
he decided to ram the Jeep into the bugs. Apparently that's just what he does. Because that's twice I've seen him panic, and twice that he's decided to ram his vehicle into something. So now we know. Alright, those guys are out of range. You need to deal with these. Whatever that looks like.
Let's do this. These ones are a little bit low in the old ammo front, though. Sights are sharp.
Well, every part of that's bad.
Hey, yo, we good, we good.
Right. I was kind of hoping that would not suppress enough to maybe make them waver or something, but that's probably fine.
Losing men here. Proceeding.
Alright, so what does this look like? Okay, so it's 60 to be able to do that, so they're going to do that next round.
Down! Everybody down!
Well, don't catch one!
Stay on him, 103rd.
Okay, good. There's one
Kill
gone.
confirmed.
Down to a crit. That one's running. That one's going to be dealt with soon. There's the flappies from before. No way in hell anyone's getting over there in time. So good to know. Operation Shitty Truck, probably a shitty idea. But, you know, it was worth a try.
Put it on 'em!
But at this point, I think most of everything here is dealt with. Because these guys are starting to be willing to run away, just getting a few scratches.
Casualties, Major.
There's one done. Ooh, that's a problem.
Taking fire!
Okay. Please run. Crap.
Ah, let's get it! We good!
Yeah, those ones get close, that's a problem though.
Bounding the cover!
Pretty much the only reason that these ones are now circling this direction. Okay, good.
Bitch made motherfuckers!
So those are running, those have to take their turn to circle around.
Fire inbound!
Circling around the mountain probably means they're fine. See, the thing is, I don't know if there are infinite spawns. I don't think so. Because, like, I think all that really has to happen is just get rid of one of them and then run, but if there's infinite spawns, that's the best thing to do right now. If there isn't, then running this way is the best way. So I'm gonna assume that there's not infinite spawns. 'Cause, like, I haven't seen them popping out of the walls or what have you, which, like, feels a feature they probably will add at some point. But I guess we'll find out. One way to know, right? Jeez. Yeah, these guys changed their mind.
Sir?
Alright. They need to get around this hill. To about there. Finish that one off.
Eat, dog! Eat! Hurry, hurry!
Yeah, that's a problem.
Casualties, Major. On target.
Dumb as that may be, that's basically the only way that's happening.
Contact! Contact!
running. So that's that dealt with.
Sir?
Yeah, their accuracy is decent enough in this case.
Like I trained!
Yeah, the option there was either,
Let's
like,
do this.
crouch, save some points, and take one shot, or take two. In that case, it got rid of one of them. Those guys are projectile-based, so these guys are going to hide behind this building here. Get some line of sight on those. They hide here. They only have 2 bursts left anyway. So they're probably going to be the ones that are just going to run towards here. Are these guys running anymore, or did they change their mind? Yeah, they changed their mind. So one more should change it right back.
You ain't shit!
Well, almost.
So many losses. Orders.
Yeah, by the way, I love what they did with the voice acting in this. It's like the more stuff starts to go sideways, the more their mood changes and everything. Like, yeah, that lady's not feeling too good right now. Which is beyond understandable.
Push them all!
Alright, so sneakies are going this direction.
Martian rat!
They're gonna stay put right there. I think the other 2 groups are gonna start headed this way. This is what I mean about loving this format, though. I don't know why I'm saying "though" twice. Whatever. Stupid things happen. But you know, it's like having this sort of like little mini campaign thing. It's a great format. It really should get used more often. So you got this nice little build up, then you got a little bit of reset, then you get a nice little build up, a nice little reset. It's good. Okay. A little bit more. There we go.
Let's house these motherfuckers! Hope I did!
Again, every line from this guy is absolute gold. It's just, that's the thing. If you have the option to have Terry Crews on your team, you have Terry Crews on your team. That's probably a law somewhere. There we go. And that is why she's the best. Sure, not very useful at the very start, but once you get to this point, you know, if they're the biggest squad that's left, they're usually just going to start mopping things up because they just don't miss anymore. Okay, and I think we can pretty safely confirm no infinite respawns, which is good because I freaking hate that mechanic.
Hey yo, bugs!
Crap. here and take a seat.
Orders.
Oh yeah!
Yeah, it's gonna be one of the heavily armored ones. Alright,
On it!
you go back to your hill, they approach, both groups just lay into them, and that should be that. Can't imagine there's too much left, because there's barely any tiles left, but you never know.
Engaging. Still in the fight, Major.
She says she's still in the fight. They don't even have any bullets left. So, how she's planning to do that, I'm not entirely certain.
Let's get it! We're good! Bump!
Alright, please be slightly too far away. Because that little hill made them have to run a little bit farther, and that should be hurting us. Okay.
Orders.
Yeah, they're good.
Moving.
Yeah, one thing that is a little bit weird, they say that there's 2 of these find a person objectives. I only see 1, so either the... Yeah, I saw a smokestack over there, I guess it's not that. Not sure there's going to be a visual cue. Oh well, go here. So I've got 5 bursts left in them. Which I suppose is good, because they just ran into somebody else.
Try that again!
Sir?
Right. Alright, that one's running. Good. Unfortunately, these ones were circling around, so I can move you this way.
Moving.
Just in case they try to circle around there. They can't exactly fight back at this point. And these guys can move up on this hill.
Sir?
And then if this does work like TO, as far as its turn order is concerned, they should be able to take a shot on these guys pretty quick. That squad over there deleted itself. Again, I can't imagine that there's too many left here, but...
Oh
who
yeah!
knows?
Sir? Engaging the enemy.
Oh, for crap's sake, there's even more.
Gross.
Alright,
Moving.
these ones go here, they grab this one, they leave. Whatever else is on the map, it is no longer relevant.
We good, we good!
Sir? Here we go.
there.
Let's get it!
Perfect there, fling. They're toast.
Hell yeah, sister!
Okay. So that should be that.
Sir?
Everything dead, gone, and running. These guys are completely out of everything. These guys, I think, have like one burst left. Oh, okay. So, okay, both of them are right here. Yeah, I wasn't entirely sure how that worked. You know, you'd think that they would bother to walk the, like, 15 feet to get themselves out. It doesn't seem like it's that much effort. No, they're just gonna sit there and get eaten by bugs, though.
All right.
Okay, that's a win, then. So, yeah, long story short, this thing's pretty nifty. Like, one of the complaints that I saw bouncing around was this idea of, like, oh, there wasn't a whole lot of writing and, like, dramatic stuff. And honestly, the banter is really kind of all you need here. Like, there's a good bit of banter with all your different squads and how all these different people know each other and whatnot. And I really don't see why it needs anything more than that. I mean, sure, there's some general story stuff, but it felt like everything that was happening made sense. Like, you had one of the leaders that's kind of like a warlord sort, and guy's an absolute douche, sends you taunting emails. Like, that's exactly what should be happening there. Okay.
This mission is extraordinarily lucky to have you, Major.
Okie dokie, so that is that. That is technically a win. Technically lost the old guy, but that is that, unfortunately. Okay. The big gun guy got marked as overconfident. Alright, let's see. Normally on PSP I customize the controls a bit, since I only need pistol, need to be able to switch weapons and core storage. See, I kind of liked the way that it worked, especially for LR for that one, because it's like you would have that little bit of a delay on your left arm deploy, so it's like you would kind of lift your thumb up a little bit, tap the left one, and while it's lifting up, you would then match it with your square input. Alright, let's see. Rating 2 out of 5. Hey, at least it's a win. Authority goes up by 10, so like authority, I guess it scales how well people listen to you and stuff. We get a vehicle injection system, an adaptive camouflage net for... Thanks for all of the parts for those vehicles that we no longer have. Choose one reward. Let's see. Special camouflage net that's used to cover up vehicles or disperse heat. Increase concealment by 4, or... a -3 movement cost per tile, but turn costs increase by 10. So basically they get higher distance. It's basically a dash. I feel like concealment sounds like it'd be more useful. Alright. So you also do that on the PS2 with matching up both sides? Well, there you go. Let's see. A hatch-to-hatch salesman somehow saddled aboard the Impetus. They want to sell a few boxes worth of high-grade way-back entertainment. Movie shows, games, and elements that might help lift the spirits, and therefore better push us for maximum efficiency. You can steal his stuff, buy his stuff, or whatever else. I mean, what? I thought we don't have money. Let's see. The entertainment came with rootkits and other digitally invasive functions. In simpler terms, we've been hacked. I will reroute some resources solving the problem. I suppose this is what we get for lowering our guard for a few moments. The salesman is also long gone. Okay. Okie dokie. Well, we lost half the resources gained from that whole event. Good to know.
Already mingling with the locals, are we? I am sure your secretary will advise you otherwise. But take it from me. Be careful who you help out there, General Crozier. Sorry. Major... whoever you are. End of line.
Major, we are now
Love that.
welcome on the way back. As for Veil of Marshal Zama,
Nifty, nifty. Okay. So, what can we actually do vehicle-wise here? Got a whole bunch of stuff to sell. That thing's 260. Is it affordable? Do I actually? I don't even have anybody to drive it. So, all right. First order of business: get a pilot or get a leader. Kind of want to get another pilot because. Now, is this affordable? It's like, how much do we actually have to play with here? Almost. Hilariously, getting rid of the one gun that can go in this thing, we can get access to a Jeep. So that's an almost. Okay. So forget that. Instead, we're going to go full infantry, I think. It's a small recruitment effort. Recruit locals to join aboard the Impetus. Adds 5 squaddies. Okay, well, we have 17 of them right now. But also, there's sniper rifles. So there's 245 to spend on something here. Let's see. We got binoculars, so increases view range and detection. Honestly, probably going to end up going for that. We got pouches, got pistols. Okay, there's going to be pirate stuff happening, so smoke. Probably armor. Probably 2 different types of rifles here. Trying to find something that maybe has a bit better suppression on it. Alright, whatever, we'll try out a few different things here. So do that. Who is this recruitable person? Let's see. Former CEO who avoided corporate malfeasance trial by escaping to the way back. Spent the last few years running a big game hunting operation. His desperation to see his family again can be worked in our favor. Okay. What's your shtick? Against large organic targets, plus 20% accuracy, plus 15% penetration. Okay, so he's... Okay, so he's a hunter sort. Makes sense.
Wait, you're fucking Marines?
Alright. And then if we have anything that's a bit more punchy here... There we go. Give him one of those. Seems like his sort of thing. And then for you... Yeah, that seems a bit more appropriate here. Okay. SMG for the sneaky sort. You stick to your thing. You got your big pew-pew gun, and then you got this. And you get one of these. And it's probably worth having you, since she's got less range now, to probably have one of these here. Actually, no, I only ended up buying one. Never mind. Okay. Anyway, so that will be... Yeah, that'll have to be about that for today, because this is already running a little bit long here. So, thank you all for stopping by. And yeah, honestly, if you were looking for something on the strategic side of things, looking to scratch that kind of like somewhere in the middle between an XCOM and an Ogre Battle itch, like, give this a look, seriously. Honestly, this is a very... Like, this feels like one of these ones that's going to stick around for a while, you know? Like, one of these ones that people are going to talk about for a while. So, give it a little bit of look, and yeah, I gotta get going. So, y'all have yourselves a good one. Take care, and yeah, we'll see you in the next one here. whatever that may happen to be. The schedule, if we can even reasonably call it that, has been very completely and totally messed up for a little bit of a while now. But hopefully, once the whole third shift thing is done, then we'll be able to get back to normal in that one. Alright, y'all take care. See ya. Later.